Ollie, make sure when you go to the West Ham Palace.
I'm not saying it. I already know what you're going to say. I'm not going to say it.
Conor Gallagher is the GOAT. Children in the league, they don't even compare. That Conor Gallagher is the fucking GOAT. Right. Right. Welcome back, everyone, to the Footy Fetish podcast with myself, Alfie, my boy Mark.
Yo.
And my boy Ollie.
Yo.
How you guys doing today?
Good.
Good. Very well.
Good. This is week 3 review and a bit of news for you. Now, just a quick thing. I am darting about half an hour. Got some stuff going on.
Let's rattle through it.
But yeah, we'll get through some stuff. Obviously, transfer deadline day, boys.
I got my yellow tie.
One of the best days of the one of the best 2 days of the year. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, I don't know if we've spoken about this. Obviously, this is not transfer deadline day material. But I don't know if we've actually. I think this happened between us. The last 2 podcasts we've done, and that is Cristiano Ronaldo signed for Manchester United, boys. He's back. The Donny is back. What do you got? How do you? Firstly, Mark, as a Liverpool fan, how do you feel about it?
No.
Mark's incapable of making noises now, as opposed to actually saying words.
I think it's good business by United. I mean, he was going to go City beforehand, so a bit awkward, and then kind of was like United swooped in there, which was a bit weird to see. Not gonna lie. I think it's all right. It's not great because he is a GOAT, really, and you can't take his age into consideration still because he's still banging goals in and he's still doing mad stuff. So
yeah, 100%.
It's a bit of a problem. Don't know how Trent will deal with that one, but I'm sure it'll be a problem. It will be a problem. I'm kind of worried. I can't lie.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm happy he signed for United. Like the shithousery if he signed for City would have been funny.
I wanted it so bad.
Would have been funny, but I've got to say, as a football fan, it only seems right that he goes back to Manchester United. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Tottenham have completed the signing of Emerson Royal from Barcelona. Breaking news according to Sky Sports.
Oh,
nice. And on the same sort of thing, Chelsea have signed Saul Niguez on loan from Atletico Madrid. Don't know the ins and outs of the deal yet. I'm guessing that will be revealed to us.
Well, we don't know how much.
I know it's a €5 million loan deal, but I don't know if there's any like option to buy or obligation to buy.
Oh, right.
Whatever. I have no idea. But more new. Ronaldo back to Man United, sick. I think that puts Man United right in the driver's seat again to win the Premier League. Even if we had them third, but I think this has put them maybe into contention. I know the defense obviously has been a bit. I don't know. We on paper it's great, but it's been a bit shaky.
Yeah.
So far this season, obviously, I think they've let a goal in every game apart from the last one. So yeah, interesting. But I mean, when you've got that much firepower now going forward.
Yeah, who needs a back line when you just banging goals in?
It don't matter, right?
As long as you score 8 but only concede 7, you're fine.
Exactly,
you're winning.
Exactly. But that has allowed Dan James actually to move from Manchester United to Leeds for 25. I think was it 30 mil in the end, or was it 25?
25.
25.
25.
Oh, 25 maybe plus add-ons. So
outrageously good business for Manchester United there, because he is not worth £25 million.
Didn't they just earn back their money for Ronaldo?
Well, they spent less on Ronaldo than they did on selling Dan James.
Yeah, so, and the amount of money they're going to get from like shirts and his face.
Now he's got number 7 back.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Well, the reason he can thank Dan James for him having the number 7 back, because it was a bit of a tactical masterclass. This is something that Wenger used to do. Tactical masterclass, but it was because Dan James has left that allows Cavani to take his beloved number 21 that he loves so much, and because Cavani's taken that number 21, that frees up number 7 for Mr. Ronaldo. So cracking bit of business there, I think, from United. Well, very well done.
Yeah, they smashed it. But yeah, I mean, paying 25 million for Dan James is absolute muggery.
Well, they couldn't get him from Swansea. when they tried originally when he went to United. So
Yeah.
they've got him now.
Yeah.
2 years
I
later.
don't really get like it's not. I don't. I mean, I'd rather have Rafinha and Jack Harrison, who they already fucking have. So I don't know. I guess depth, but yeah, we'll see. Obviously Palace not been officially announced, but it's done. Obviously we've signed Odsonne Edouard for about £15 million, I think, from Celtic. He's had his medical done. I think they're just doing some video that we always like to fucking do when we're announcing a player rather than just do the photo with them. But obviously West Ham have signed CSKA Moscow midfielder Nikola Vlasic. Obviously you might know him from the Croatia team that we obviously lost to in the semi-final of the World Cup, but then beat at the Euros last year. He's a good player, man. It's a very good move for West Ham. Adding another Eastern European Donny to their team who's going to fuck people up, which is obviously what they like. It's doing well for them because they're smashing it at the moment. Yeah, that's it. Obviously, they signed Kurt Zouma as well. I don't know if we've actually really spoken about that too much. I think we were initially when it was like happening.
Yeah, I think we mentioned something about it last Thursday when we. It was just me and you, Alf. I think we mentioned something a little bit there, but it wasn't. I don't think anything had been officially announced there. But yeah, good move, I think.
Yeah, I think it's
Great
good.
move.
It's decent.
Great move. He's definitely going to play. He'll fit in nicely again with whoever the hell they got back there. His names have escaped me.
Cresswell.
Issa Diop. Is he the centre back? Is he one of Craig Dawson is obviously,
Yeah.
but I can't remember the other Donny. Obviously Leicester have signed Ademola Lookman, which is a great deal for them. Was it a loan deal? I think, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, loan deal, obviously from RB Leipzig. Palace were another player that Palace were in for, but wage demands were too crazy for us.
So season-long loan move, and they've agreed an option to buy as well.
Nice.
Good business.
Yeah, obviously Spurs have signed that. Oh, you said that, haven't you? But Emerson Royale, €30 million. That's a good deal for them.
Been announced on their Twitter with all the pictures and everything.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but fair play. I mean, he's probably a better if he's a right back, he's definitely a better option than Serge Aurier and Matt Doherty at the moment. Real Madrid.
He's gone for £25.73 million or 30 million euros.
30 million euros,
Yeah.
Real Madrid have signed Eduardo Camavinga, which is a really crazy deal that there was no rumours or anything of this happening until today. I don't know why I think maybe a panic. I mean, it's a good signing, but I think maybe potentially a panic signing from them for not, because they obviously have had a 190 something. Where is it?
189 or something.
£189 million offer for Mbappe rejected, which they could just get him for free next year. So I don't know why the hell they're fucking doing this. They're so stupid, man. These teams like Barcelona, Real Madrid are so stupid.
They throw money at their issues and then realise
they need
that
a Super League.
it's probably going to bounce back and bite them in the arse. Because who was it? Busquets and who else was it? Another Barcelona player have had to take quite significant pay cuts to be able to afford the Aguero deal.
Yeah, I mean he's even trying to get out of it still, isn't he? So
Got the lawyers.
no, man. It's just a stupid club. The whole La Liga is stupid and Tim Pot. Like it's just stupid. But so for Watford fans, I don't know. I mean, no one else gives a shit. But Troy Deeney's left the club after 12 years.
Jesus.
And he signed with his boyhood club Birmingham. So
Nice.
I don't know if you guys knew, he's got a tattoo of the Birmingham City crest on his leg. So he's a big fan. Obviously, like we were saying earlier, Chelsea have signed Saul Niguez, which is a crazy deal. That midfield's got an even the midfield of Jorginho and Kante is now. They had Kovacic on the bench. They had Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I heard he was supposed to be more of that front three than that middle two, but mate, they've just no need for it really. But they've done it, so fair play.
Taking a leaf out of City's book, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Your boys, Mark, have been not signing new players, just re-signing old players.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of Henderson signed a new 4-year contract.
Yeah. Did Nat Phillips sign a new contract? I think
Nat
didn't he?
Phillips recently,
Williams.
literally today, signed a contract.
Yeah.
So
Williams,
I
as well.
have a little quick picture of it. It was a nice little graphic I thought I'd save. We've got Trent.
Hello, Shed Gaming.
Oh, hey Simon. Didn't see you there.
Hey, Simon.
Hey Shed
Hello.
Gaming. Oh, hi Alfie TV. So yeah, Trent signed 2025. Fabinho 26. Allison 2027. Van Dijk 25. Robertson 26. And Hendo 2025. And Shed Gaming has subscribed.
Love that.
Cheers, brother.
Mo
Love
Farah
you,
sign.
Appreciate you.
Mo Farah sign. I'm surprised Alf wasn't the one that to instigate the Mo Farah sign there.
Usually on it, on my shit.
On the
but,
thanks for the sub, appreciate that, and it's an actual sub, it's a tier 1 sub. Believe
love you.
You might get
Yeah, a little
Phil Jones picture.
Yeah.
There you
Nice.
go. GG. Found that GG.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so how
lots of
do you feel
sign-ins.
Well, I mean, yeah. How do you feel about the fact that you've not added anyone really new to the team, though?
I
like
don't
you're
feel
going to.
mad about it, to be honest, because I mean, me and Ollie will get into it a little bit later, but Harvey Elliott feels like a new signing
Yeah.
to me. And especially, I think, Simon's redeemed a hydrate. So if you have a drink, hydrate people. I'm not that mad that we haven't signed anyone new. Navigator again feels like he looks a lot better. Curtis Jones, although he had a concussion, is going to be one of those people who we sort of have. So it's Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones, who is basically our Wijnaldum replacement. To be completely honest,
Curtis Jones was still potentially on his way out at one point. A couple of days ago, there was rumours of a loan move for him.
Nah, I think
already
materialised.
Yeah, I already massively rate Harvey Elliott way more than Curtis Jones, but Curtis Jones is not a bad player, so we'll move on. But who else? Yeah, that's it really. So yeah, you're saying like Harvey Elliott feels like a new sign-in.
Yeah,
But then is there a case of like this? Because I put in the notes today. You'll see Ollie when Ollie goes through it. You'll see that I feel good about our predictions for Chelsea winning the league and Liverpool finishing 4th after watching that game. I do feel like you're not really moving forward. You are just at a standstill.
yeah, no, I get
All
what
the
you
clubs
mean.
around you, fucking Man United just like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult watching everyone sign these names and wondering,
Chelsea just have Sal Niguez for no
like-
reason whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a bit weird because it's not like Liverpool isn't a desirable club.
No, definitely
Like it's a
not.
very good club to like.
Apart from its location.
All right,
Yeah.
mate. But that's why I'm confused. It's like, okay, well, I know we can go get these world-class players. I know we have world-class players, but we have room for improvement. Like most clubs have. In some areas, there's always room for improvement.
You have to keep.
I think if you're bringing a player in, that player who, even if you're bringing a new like right wing in, obviously you're not going to be like, well, a Salah's unplayable. But there is also still that, okay, well, they still have someone who could get ahead of me here, so I have to be better. I have to keep my spot because I don't want Salah to get humble.
Competition's always good for.
Yeah, I think that's how United did it. They always brought in these world-class players as well, so there's always that competition for that spot. So yeah, I do get a bit like kind of would like to make one like big dollar signing a season.
Was it Kanate? Is that his name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was more. That was more like to fill the void really, because we saw Matic always has these injuries, and then as soon as if Van Dijk goes down, it's like we're shaky.
Yeah.
Like we're shaky
that's
on the best of
thing.
days.
All it takes is another person in that backline to go down, and you're still you're fucked again.
Yeah, well, if Van Dijk goes down, it's a bit like, okay, he's a big influence, but hopefully Kanate could learn from him and try his best to replicate Van Dijk, maybe. But again, Matip, I mean, I watched Matip in that Chelsea game and looked solid.
Are you joking?
No, I'm not joking.
Oh my god, I put in the notes how fucking. Did you not see Lukaku turn the?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
Lukaku
Lukaku.
looked out of his depth, bro.
No, but in other games, he's been
Oh, right,
amazing. In that Chelsea game,
he
I
was
thought.
fucking
I
terrible.
mean, you're against Lukaku. Like, come on, like Lukaku breaks defenders. That's what he does.
Yeah.
Just he
Oh, he
turned
just
Matip.
turned the
Yeah,
ball. It was-
yeah, centre for a
Made him
hundred.
look fucking
But there
bad.
were a lot of times where Matip looked really good where I expected it to fail.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I mean.
And the amount of injuries he's come from, he hasn't exactly had hours on hours of football under his belt. Like the amount of injuries he's had to come back from. And I was thinking, oh, Matip
that is also his
starting.
fault, though.
Oh yeah,
like getting injured, like having a lot of injuries is also his fault.
He's good at coming back from them, but then he's also good at getting another bloody injury.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. But I don't know. I think obviously you guys will get onto Matip, but I just thought he looked terrible, and Liverpool were fucking lucky that Chelsea got a red card essentially.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think that Chelsea would have run away with that. But you guys can get onto that. That's what I thought. But Ollie, who are you signing? This guy that no one knows, like Bologna defender.
We are signing.
No disrespect to you, Takahiro Tomiyasu.
That's it. Tomiyasu.
Yeah.
He's a young Japanese player coming from Bologna in the
No
Serie A.
But honestly, I've not heard of you before today, so I apologize.
Well, at the moment, I'll take a defender. Anyone.
Oh yeah.
Please.
Where does he play?
He plays centre back or right back.
Centre back, right back. So that's something that you need.
Exactly. I'll take it. But obviously, with a lot of rumours that Bellerin's going to be out by the end of the day, going to Real Betis. But
yeah, it's surprising. I mean, the news around Arsenal have not been great recently. Like especially today with obviously Ainsley Maitland-Niles, his post. Was that today or was that yesterday? Yesterday, wasn't it?
Day before yesterday, I think he put the post up.
Right. Yeah.
I think there was a lot of meetings and everything. There was contract talks held yesterday. We basically told him that, I'm sorry, but we don't want to let you go. I think where we haven't been able to sign a proper... Well, this is the thing, where we haven't been able to sign a proper, legit right back for the whole window. It's getting to the point now, obviously, we are signing a defender, but he's a centre-back that can play in that right-back position, but he's not a born and bred right-back. Maitland-Niles has played at right-back for us for quite a long time, while Bellerin was out with his ACL injury and all this sort of stuff. So Maitland-Niles is another one of those players that is quite versatile. He's not amazing, but he's quite versatile. He doesn't do badly when he moves sort of around the pitch. So we basically said that if a good offer comes in, we'll let you go. But an offer came in from Everton for a loan, but it was a loan with an option to buy, but the option was far too low, apparently, way less than we were willing to let him go for. So we've just said, I'm sorry, but we haven't had the deal that we want for you, so we're not going to be letting you go. I think he probably will be. He probably will be getting more game time this year, because of obviously our god awful defence that we've got at the moment and his versatility there. But yeah,
he was obviously told that he's not going to train with the first team. So how's he going to start playing?
I think that's more punishment due to the fact that he openly mugged off Arsenal on social media. Like, you shouldn't be doing that as a player. I know obviously the frustrations you have as a player, but you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be openly putting stuff on Instagram about like your contract and of the fact that you want to leave and stuff like that. It should be kept more behind closed doors, that sort of thing. Fair enough, you're entitled to your opinion and all that sort of stuff, and you can say to the club whatever you want to say to the club, but putting on your Instagram's probably a step too far, and it was a bit immature to do that sort of thing. So I think there's got to be some sort of punishment, sort of the wrong word, but like he has to
consequence
of that word. Yeah, some sort of consequence for it. But
it's a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially the fact that Arsenal are a meme of the club anyway. That does not help at all.
Edu and Arteta need sacking. I mean, we've been saying this for ages. They both need sacking. They're both an absolute embarrassment to football at the moment, if we're being completely honest about it. And the whole of Arsenal at the moment is a bit of an embarrassment. You know, you've got players that don't want to play for you, all that kind of stuff. It sucks, but it is what it is. Hopefully, this new guy can come in and do something.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much he'll play or whatever, but I've just seen a couple more details about the loan fee for Sal's been announced. They're paying €4 million for the loan, and they have a €35 million option to buy.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Cool. Yeah.
But what else has been knocking around? Obviously, fucking Anguissa from Fulham has extended his contract to Fulham and has gone on loan to Napoli for the rest of the year.
Oh.
So he's leveled up a bit. That's nice for him. He's a good player.
And that's Ethan Mpadu, who's signed a 3-year contract with Chelsea, but has been loaned out to the Italian side, Venezia, on loan for this season.
Solomon Rondon is close to completing a move to Everton, which is cool. They needed, I mean, They definitely needed more than what, like, they needed this is hard to, I don't know why I'm struggling to fucking say this, but there was more areas of need than striker, sorry, for Everton. Maybe a creative midfielder, because you've got one that doesn't want to play for you right now. But yeah, weird deal. I don't know if you've seen this, Mark. I was talking to Ollie about this earlier. Oh no, I think I might have mentioned this to you. But yeah, Burnley were offered Weston McKennie from Juventus on a loan deal. After Tottenham went in for him and got rejected. It's quite weird, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So I don't really know if it's bullshit or not.
Yeah.
Like, it's been offered, but I don't know if it's actually gonna go through. I don't know.
Sorry, say that again.
So he was offered to Burnley. I don't know. I assume by Juventus, because I don't know who else could offer him. Maybe his agent. I don't know. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Which, if you're Burnley fans, I'd be fucking fuming.
Bit weird.
Weston McKennie's a baller.
Just had a
Even if it is alone.
couple comments come through. Simon, when's the next FIFA stream, lads? Maybe on the weekend. Maybe we can have a talk about that. Still got that issue where, for some reason, my microphone doesn't get picked up. I could just play in the background, as long as there's a couple of people
you're
there.
on PlayStation again now, aren't you?
Yeah, my PC game, for some reason, I don't have the privileges to play the game that I own and pay for.
You, Mark, download it on Xbox Game Pass, because you've got it on Steam
probably
at the
will.
moment.
I
Get it on
probably will.
Game Pass for free.
That's fine.
All you need
And
to do is just leave your PC running.
Hendry is in the
hello.
chat. Hello, gentlemen. Hendry has tuned in for some last-minute transfers.
Nice, man.
It won't be last minute, because we won't be going
There
till
will be some
11.
more afterwards.
But we won't be going till 11 p.m. But still.
That's it, mate. That's it. But you never guess who's back in English football, boys. Saidu Berahino.
I did see that. Yeah, he's on to
Sheffield
Sheffield
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah.
He was a
Sadio Berahino. Bloody hell.
I remember when Palace were in for him 1 year. That was
Jesus Christ.
grossly that. Jesus.
I think in honor of Harry, not that anything happened to Harry, he's just worried, I believe. But no, we should mention a couple of transfers that they've made for Reading.
Oh yeah, go on.
They've brought in Danny Drinkwater on loan from Chelsea.
Nice.
Huge signing. Scott Dan brought in. They're also looking to bring in potentially Andy Carroll as well. They're going for it this season, man. Going for it.
They
Doing
want that
bits.
promotion. Fair play to them, man.
I've recently got Reading into the Premier League on my career mode on FIFA.
Well done, man.
And I-
Well done.
Rep the boys.
Love it. Last few ones to obviously run through. Moise Kean has gone to Juventus on a 2-year loan from Everton.
Nice.
Which I don't really get. Why are you going to get rid of Moise Kean, who is better than Solomon Rondon? But yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Moise Kean's not really done a hell of a lot since he's been there, in all honesty. I remember I got him in my fantasy the first year that he was there. Was that last year or the year before or something?
PSG though last year when he was actually given time to play.
Yeah, but that's the thing. At Everton, he just didn't do anything. He just wasn't playing he wasn't playing very often, and then every time he did play, he just didn't put in much of a performance at all. Obviously, I know he's quite young, but hopefully it's different for him with a move away. But yeah, he just hasn't looked that impressive.
No, I agree, but I just don't understand what Solomon Rondon brings that he doesn't. Like, I would rather definitely have Moise Kean. Unfortunately for Jesse Lingard, it looks like he's going to be staying at Man United this summer. They were asking for around 25 million for him, and I do understand why you would be hesitant to pay that for Jesse Lingard. Obviously, it was looking like West Ham with the team. So yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. I think Jesse Lingard, would you? I mean, obviously for neither of your teams, you wouldn't pay 25 million. But if you're a West Ham looking team, would you pay 25 million for him?
Well, he was quite important to them, so I guess that does affect the value for West Ham specifically, because they know that he works in their system.
Yeah.
So I'd be leaning to say for West Ham, like, that's an average list. It's a bit much, but it's okay because he did prove himself there massively.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking on similar sort of lines. To be honest, he's probably worth 25 million to them, but maybe not to other people. But I don't know. It could just be a case of it doesn't really bring anything more to the team, because they've not had a bad start, or they've had a pretty good start to the season. Obviously, we'll get on to what happened this weekend, but they've had a good start to the season without him, so who's to say that they won't be able to carry on? Maybe the only thing I would say is their squad is getting a little bit thin, They don't have huge sort of depth with their squad, with sort of a couple of people out. But yeah, I think it depends. I'd if I was West Ham, I'd go for him. Try and bring that what he had last year. Just crack on. Crack on where you left off from last year. To be honest.
He didn't play like somebody who was just on loan or whatever. Like he played like a West Ham player.
Yeah, exactly. And he was, at the end of the day, he was only there for the last half of the season, and he did really well in that last half.
Yeah,
so if he was there
really
for a full season, especially having 6 months with the team previous as well, maybe it's only going to be better from here.
And he just seemed really happy.
Yeah, definitely.
You never know. He might, now with Dan James out the picture, could that be? I know obviously they signed Ronaldo, but could that be, a bump up in where Jesse Lingard could potentially see some football in Manchester? You never know.
I doubt
it. Renato Sanchez to Wolves for a loan was looking like it was going to happen, but it's off apparently. Wait, let's have a go. What's it saying here? Oh, okay. So Wolves have said they're a bit mad at Lille for moving the goalpost essentially at the 11th hour. So I'm assuming they probably asked for more money or like a sell-on clause or something like that. So, not great for Wolves, who would definitely, obviously, you guys can get into this and see through the notes I've written, but they're a weird one, man, because they need to not lose Adama Traore. Because if they lose Adama Traore, they are really fucked. But yeah, I think, to be honest, boys, apart from that, there's not been too much more going on. I don't know if. Actually, to be fair, have you guys seen Goal, the film?
Yes.
Yeah.
Signing of the season.
Oh yeah.
I'm here for it.
Newcastle. So Newcastle have signed not Santiago Munez, but Santiago Munoz. I'm assuming that's how you say it. I'm not sure it's with an O and not an E. But obviously, if you guys, football fans of our age, will definitely know the film Goal and the
subsequent
the journey of the absolute hero that was Santiago Munez in Newcastle, and then Real Madrid, wasn't it? After that, it was Newcastle in Goal 2. It was Real Madrid, but I mean, they've sort of making it happen. 19-year-old has joined the Magpies on an 18-month loan deal. They can make it permanent. He's joined from Santos Laguna in the Mexican League. He helped Mexico to the 2019 CONCACAF Under-17 Championship. I mean, I don't want to shit on like a thing, but if your fucking competition is called CONCACAF, then like it's not a World Cup or Euros, is it? So who cares, basically? But I mean,
Santiago Munez is arguably Newcastle's most famous player, maybe behind Alan Shearer. But put them on the map.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to them. They got
Shed Gaming said, "Big up Santiago. Third film sucked."
The third film was absolutely horrific.
That's a bit like a lot of football films, to be fair. Like Football Factory. First one was good. Second one was air.
Yeah.
And the third one that they did, trash.
Yeah, no, 100%. Second one was okay. It wasn't great, but yeah.
Green Street, another one.
Green Street was another one. Yeah. Football Factory.
Yeah.
And Ndombele, obviously, he's had a fucking horrible time with it at Spurs. Can't get gave for love nor money. But he's been told that he's going to stay at Spurs. Basically, there was interest from Bayern Munich, but I think it stopped pretty quickly. I mean, if he can get his head right and he can get into a place where he's going to be playing football and can clear his mind of any negativity that I'm sure there is a lot of at Tottenham around with him as well. It's been two managers in Pochettino and Jose, and now Nuno, three even, that just don't fancy him. And I think he's still their transfer record signing, no?
Was it Poch that brought him in?
Yeah, it was Poch that brought him in. Scored that absolute rocket of a goal in his debut.
Yeah, done nothing since.
Done nothing since, and it's a shame because on his day, man, he could be one of the best, like, sort of box-to-box defensive midfielders in the Premier League, and he's just not cracked onto it. Maybe it's Spurs, but I think if he was to go to somewhere like Bayern, we'd see like a Renato Sanchez thing. Do you know what I mean? When he was at Swansea, he was horrific, but he went to Bayern Munich and he was one of the hottest young midfielders in the world. Went to
Serge Gnabry.
Yeah, Serge Gnabry as well. Left that tin pot club he was at to Bayern Munich and
left the tin pot club, then came to Arsenal, then went to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, no, it's been an interesting one. I reckon it's only going to get more interesting. I think we'll see a few more deals come in. You might see a panic buy from someone. I do love a good panic buy, so hopefully we see something like that. I've seen loads of rumours around Sevilla. What am I talking about? That's just popped up on there. Around Ruben Neves to Manchester United, but they've been looking at 25 million. I just don't think 25 million is enough to get Ruben.
Well, that
Ruben
was
Neves, man.
that conversation was started sort of maybe about a month or so ago now,
Yeah.
and it really seemed to sort of die down. There wasn't much news on it for ages. And now, obviously, that was last day, deadline day. All the talk seemed to be hotting up again. But yeah, I think it's a little bit. Yeah, I don't think I'd pay that much.
I mean, I don't think that's going to get him, bro. I think you have to pay way more. Ruben Neves only 24.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he looks about 30.
I think you could get. He's a quality baller. You could get 40 odd million, I reckon, for Ruben Neves if you.
To be
really...
fair, if they're selling Dan James for 25, then they could probably bring in Neves.
If they're gonna get, if
And a
they're
little bit
serious
more.
about that, they should be serious about that because that would be such a class signing. Imagine paying him at with him and Bruno and Pogba in the midfield, or Donny van der Beek, however you wanted to play it. Look, probably more Pogba.
He was going to say Tony Van de Beek ain't getting on that pitch anytime soon.
Absolutely nothing.
No, you're doing nothing. But that's about it in terms of transfer news, boys, which is very handy because I've got to bop. Just
worries.
scouring for any last minute bits of bits of business. Oh, Kabak, your former man, Kabak signed with Norwich.
Yep, saw that.
On a loan for around 3.5 million. Which
Saw
is
it
a
from Norwich, I
buy
guess.
option at the end. Yeah, it's an option to buy at the end for 12 million. I don't think that's enough for them to stay up. I still think they're going to go down. I still think they're going to go down 20th. But yeah, I mean, Ollie, we were talking about Nketiah and that. So it came out today that deal with Arsenal was agreed. It was the personal terms that we couldn't get done.
Oh,
so
fair.
what I'm assuming by that is he probably wanted a bit too much money than what we were willing to offer him.
Probably.
Which is fair enough. I mean, yeah, but yeah, I'm
Sorry.
never going to play Nketiah like.
Reece Nelson's gone to Feyenoord as well on loan.
Reece Nelson's gone to Feyenoord, big deal.
Hendry's asked a quick question before we go out. Can Arsenal get rid of Hector Bellerin this window?
Well, he's meant to
Yeah,
go into
well,
Real Betis.
Real Betis. He said supposedly having his I thought he was having a medical done in Sevilla.
So potentially Hendry.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, he.
Willian's
he's
gone.
gotta go, bruv. Willian's
Willian.
gone. He's got to go though. Honestly, Hector Bellerin, bruv. To be dressing like that at the level of football that you are.
I'm
doesn't
sorry,
add
but
up.
there's a lot worse dressed footballers out there.
No, I
as
mean,
well.
like you shouldn't be able to dress that audaciously and act like he does for the shit footballer that he is. But yeah, no, the La Liga will be fine. Real Betis is an interesting project for him to go to. But yeah, I mean, it'd be good for him, good for Arsenal. Although that just leaves you even, that still leaves you a right back problem. You'll still have
Tomiyasu.
yeah, you'll have Cedric and Maitland-Niles who doesn't want to be there. So
Cedric, Maitland-Niles can probably play Callum Chambers and that Tomiyasu.
Jesus,
None of which I want them to play there at all.
no, it sounds
But,
awful, man.
We've got options.
Yeah, you
Not
got
very good ones, but options.
options, yeah, we'll call them options, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, thanks, guys. I'll let you guys get on with the review. I know you're starting off with a really fun one for Ollie because it's 5-0 Man City. So we'll just let you guys get on with that.
Even when Alf's not hosting, we have to start with Arsenal.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, so it's got to be done.
Yeah.
Ollie, make sure when you go to the West Ham Palace.
I'm not saying it. I already know what you're going to say. I'm not going to say it.
Conor
No.
Gallagher is the
No,
goat.
no, no.
In the league, they don't even compare. That Conor Gallagher is the fucking goat. Right, there we go. And I'll just see if there's anything else that I wanted to get on. Oh, I said no, not really.
No one wants you anymore, Alf. Go to your aunts, and we're going to go through these games.
I'm
And of
terribly
which that
sorry
one.
that the rest of this podcast is going to be shit because Ollie's hosting. But guys, make sure to tune in next week.
There is, I'm editing all of this. I'm just going to edit all of that bit out. So,
And welcome back from this short break, guys.
I thought it looked like it skipped a little bit there, guys.
Technical
Okay.
issues.
All right, guys. I will see you later. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. Thanks everyone for watching so far, and yeah, Sick. Bye.
Bye. And we just switch over. And we're ready to go.
Lovely. Cool. So, yeah.
Yes. Here we go.
Relax now. Oh, God. What's it called?
It's not a short stream, Simon. It's a short stream for Alf because he had to duck. So now we're going to take a little bit of relaxation. Or if you're editing this, you can put a bit of calm music on. We're going to update on the recent.
The dictator's now gone, so we're going to crack on and have a bit of fun. No, I'm joking. So yeah, welcome to the review of Game Week 3. And like Alf said, we are going to start with the most disappointing game of the whole weekend.
To say the least.
Yeah. So Man City 5, Arsenal 0. So City absolutely destroyed Arsenal. This is what Alf wrote. City absolutely destroyed Arsenal with goals from Gundogan, Gabriel Jesus, Rodri, and 2 from Fernan Torres. Arsenal looked horrendous all game. Didn't show any improvements from the first 2 fixtures. In fact, they looked like they took a step backwards, if that's even possible. Arsenal had 19% possession, took 1 shot, which was off target. City made 757 passes to Arsenal's 185. Arteta out?
Yep.
I said in previous podcasts that I was willing to give him 6 to 8 games.
6 to 8. You shouldn't be giving someone 6 to 8 games.
Yeah, but considering the first within those 6 to 8 games, we're playing City, Chelsea, Tottenham.
That's like a bad start.
Also, obviously, we played Brentford. We've got Palace. We've got Brighton.
Things could change.
Leicester as well at some point. But yeah, I've tried to give him enough time that it's not just him. Like a couple of really tough games at the beginning, apart from the Brentford one, and then he gets sacked. I think I wanted to give him a little bit longer so we can wholeheartedly say he's not right for this club, and he will not be. We don't want him to stay. But yeah, it's now quickly becoming apparent that things aren't going to improve. I thought after the West Brom game that we did in the Carabao Cup that we won 6-0, I thought, maybe it won't be as bad. Maybe we might actually score. Unfortunately not. We did not.
No.
And it was just embarrassing, to be honest. I didn't watch it. I didn't want to.
I mean, you knew how it was going to go, and it went exactly that way. So why put yourself through the torture? Exactly.
But yeah, for sort of me, I personally think that if we lose the Norwich game, or if our next game's against Norwich, so depending on what happens there, I will be basically wholeheartedly Arteta out, because we shouldn't be like. I understand City and Chelsea; they are hard games. We probably always were going to lose them, but to lose 5-0 to City, like, come on,
doing
man.
that.
We lost 2-0 to Chelsea, which was a bit like, okay, we lost 2-0. It wasn't a complete whitewash. Like, we didn't get absolutely done in, but at the same time, it was a convincing win from them.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, with the whole City game, it was just an embarrassment.
Yeah, in every single stat possible, City had a better outcome. Like you said, with the whole...
That does not surprise me.
25 shots and 10 of them were on target. Arsenal had 1 shot, but nothing was on target. Not that one shot wasn't on target. So they didn't challenge. Edison could literally sat on the ground and like took a call, and he would have been fine because nothing even went inside the posts. Which is the harsh reality of things. But there was even a moment where Edison was standing there with the ball at his feet. Obviously, you draw a player in, kick it out of field, who just stood there for apparently maybe like 45 seconds to a minute. Just literally, Arsenal players just watching, just waiting.
I think that's what we probably expect the ref to be like, no, like, come on, time wasting, sort yourself out. But at the same time, Edison might have been time wasting, but they still completely dominated us. There was no point that we were ever going to look like we were going to win. Yes, we've got a message from Henry. Arsenal bought out a sick third kit, though. We did, and I have it. It's actually outside of my front door.
Yes.
My front door? My bedroom door.
The kit is nice. It's also going to look nice when you're in the Championship.
Yeah, but we'll have a different third kit next season. So it's
different third kit, and that third kit would be nice.
But yeah, for me personally, I'm very much the Norwich game really seals the deal for me, really, with Arteta out. I don't think that he's not good enough for what we need. I think we should look to bring in someone with maybe a bit more experience. Edu, again, such uninspiring transfers that have happened.
Yeah.
At the same time, what I don't understand is why Arsenal have allowed Arteta and Edu to spend this amount of money if they're then literally just going to be like, right, transfer window's closed, a week later, you're sacked, get out. So it's a bit like, what do you do in that situation?
You can't, just because the manager's leaving, you can't stop that rotation of players or trying to improve the actual squad. They could have plans anyway to bring in a new manager. We don't really know. I doubt it because it's Arsenal. But at the same time, I don't think you should not. If you've got a transfer window and you know you need to shift some players and you know you want to buy some players, just let it happen anyway, because the players are still like, they're good footballers really, end of the day. So a different manager could get more out of them anyway. But I don't think you should stop that rotation just because the manager's having a bit of a shit time. Or if you're planning to get rid of the manager, that shouldn't impact the squad personally. But I guess they do go hand in hand. The manager is part of the squad.
Exactly, and at the end of the day, if we bring in another manager, or whoever it may be, and they decide that these 120 odd million that we've spent, I don't actually want any of those players that are involved in that. So it's basically just a bit of a wasted window, really. Obviously, they are all still young players. That's the only thing I will say. It's not like we've gone out and spent 120 something mil on a load of has-beens from Chelsea, which is what we normally do. But we've gone for young players. I think the oldest out of the few that we've signed is 23. So yeah, they're all very young. They've all got a long way to go. They've all got a lot to learn. And like I've said in previous podcasts, we're on a long-term rebuild now. We're not expected to win these games. Like, we're not expected to finish top 4. And people need to stop expecting that from us at the same time, I think.
Yeah,
there are a lot of clubs that still think that keep Arsenal sort of on that pedestal where they shouldn't be anymore. We shouldn't be comparing. We shouldn't be sort of laughing so much that Chelsea and City have beat Arsenal, because at the end of the day, they bloody should. The team's so much better than ours is.
Yeah, 100%.
It's getting to that point now where we're not that Arsenal that we used to be. So people need to stop treating us like we are.
People used to joke because you always finished 4th. I bet you take finish 4th now.
You
know what? I'd take finishing 4th, because that means you've beaten teams. You could potentially have beaten teams like, Leicester, United, Spurs, West Ham are now up there. Do you know what I mean? These teams are now no longer pushovers. So even getting top 6 is not an easy task. Yeah. So even if Arsenal were in the talks of, remember, I was speaking to someone, I can't remember, the other week, going, remember when you used to joke because Arsenal always finished 4th? Like, looking back, do you know how good that was to always finish top 4? That's consistent.
We didn't fall out of the top 4 in the Premier League basically for 22 years, I think it was.
Jesus.
Something like that. So that's incredible to do. You don't see teams doing that these days.
No.
Like every one of the current top 4, or the big 6, whatever you want to call it, has finished outside the top 4, sort of, at least sort of one season. They might have recovered and got into the top 4 again the next season.
Well, you look at Liverpool. We finished 7th once, not too long ago. We finished 7th, and now you would never think Liverpool finishing 7th, because obviously we bounced back from that. But we had our issues. They got addressed to come back up. But I think Arsenal has pretty much got a little bit of a more longevity plan. Henry did say ESR, which obviously is Emil Smith Rowe, should have scored from that keeper's mistake. So Edison got a bit too cocky, to say the least. I mean, he's probably just trying to entertain himself. Even if it went in, consolation goal, I don't think much.
Give him something to do.
Because I think it was 2-0 maybe at that point.
Yeah.
So it may have given some momentum maybe, but I don't think it would have been enough to phase Man City.
No, not
but
at all.
I mean, arguably should have scored that keeper's mistake again. I don't know if he should have scored it. I think he'd be lucky if he got that, because Edison is a class goalie.
As much as I'd love to continue talking about this, I will just say one more thing on Man City before we move on to the next game. Obviously, tried to sign a couple of strikers this summer. Hasn't worked out for them. We'll try to sign Ronaldo. Couldn't get him. Tried to sign Harry Kane. Couldn't get him. Doesn't seem to be an issue at the moment. They seem to be doing pretty well.
There seems to be a problem.
As is.
Everyone else, Ferran Torres coming in clutch for them.
Exactly.
Gundogan doing dusty and stuff.
Gundogan obviously half expected because he had a pretty good season for them last year.
Came out nowhere.
Gabriel Jesus obviously got a goal as well and an assist, I think. So he's looking a lot better.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah, they're doing really well.
Yeah.
You can't really fault them.
Not at all.
At the moment, but
Should we move on?
Yes, we should. Newcastle 2, Southampton 2. Newcastle started the scoring with a well-worked goal, finished off by Callum Wilson. Southampton equalised with a scrappy finish, but it was a lovely build-up play by the South Coast team. Newcastle, though they had the win after thought they had the win. It says though, but I think it's meant to say thought they had the win after the 91st minute goal from St Maximin. But the goal got even luckier. But Southampton got even luckier with a penalty in the 96th minute. Only one goal in this game didn't come down to luck. I hope both teams get relegated. That's a little comment from Alfie at the end.
Yeah, true.
yeah,
I don't
it
really
was
rate any of these teams.
No, it was a bit of a shit show, really. Callum Wilson, glad he actually finally managed to finish something. It's the first thing he's able to basically be able to finish all season so far.
I can finish his own dinner.
No, definitely not, 100%. But yeah, like I've said, I mean, to the fact that all the goals came down to, one of the goals was the only one that didn't come down to luck at the end of the day. These people need to be maybe doing a bit more to get these goal scoring opportunities a bit more sort of frequently rather than relying on luck all the time. Like St Maximin and Wilson, they're good players, they're just not consistent enough, I don't think. They're lacking in the finishing department at the moment, so I think that's going to be a real issue for Southampton. Newcastle, sorry. Newcastle as well, they obviously had Joe Willett back, so yeah, that obviously started really well for them. He did control that midfield really well as well.
We got Alfie in the chat. He scored in the first game. Back my fantasy team member. I mean, yeah, fair enough. He probably banked a couple goals in, but that doesn't make him a great.
He's had so many more opportunities to score as well.
I love it. He's not in the chat to defend it like he is now, so we can.
Exactly.
Alfie, wrong. Sorry.
Go
moving on.
Auntie.
We're right. Anyway, moving on.
Go to your family. Can we kick him from the?
I can ban him, to be fair, but that would be a bit petty.
Probably shouldn't. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, other than that, I don't think the Southampton Newcastle game was hugely interesting.
I mean, 4 goals, but the goals weren't that. Yeah, they
weren't anything special.
One okay goal.
One thing I will say was the fact that Alf didn't start Wilson and his team this week, but he was like going into the last game. He did. Luckily, Junior Firpo didn't play, so he managed to get Wilson off the bench with 9 points or something. He also had like Havertz on the bench as well, who had like 7 or 8 points or something. Yeah. So, yeah, lucky one for Half. But yeah, bored with Newcastle and Southampton now.
Boo! We want Alfie back, says Alfie. Sorry, mate.
Fucking warm later. Right, Brighton 0, Everton 2. Brighton's great start comes crashing back to reality after a bad loss to Everton. Brighton dominated possession, but like a story as old as time, they couldn't score. Easily the best moment of the game was Pickford having a go at Mapai. I agree with that, definitely. I like seeing the passion when it comes to footballers as well, like we saw with Milner and Kostas Tsimikas the other day. In the first game week. I think it's good to see that human side, that human element coming from them.
Yeah.
And to see them getting so worked up at sort of their own players because they're so passionate about making sure that they obviously do the job. But yeah, it was brilliant to see that obviously Pickford having a go at the Brighton striker.
I bet Alf loved it.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of, I just wanted to see if it worked, and I was able to time out Alfie for 600 seconds.
Nice.
So that's like
10 minutes he's been timed out for. Nice.
Fair
Take
enough.
that, Alf.
I probably probably will have to change that. But good test.
Yeah.
Thanks, Al, for being a little test subject there.
Guinea pig. Yeah, did you see this game? Or did you watch any highlights or anything?
I was half awake for the match of the day. I can't lie. It's a lot of football to watch. Again, I didn't think. I mean, it's good for Everton to get the win. I don't think Brighton are a team that really should be in the Prem anymore. They just defensively they're okay and they create a lot of goals. They create a lot of chances. Sorry.
Yeah.
But to be that obvious, to rely on, I'm gonna butcher his name, Mapai.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mapai.
To rely so hard on that guy. Jesus Christ, let him leave.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That's the thing. I think there were a couple of rumours about him potentially leaving during this summer, but nothing ever materialised. I don't think that they. No, and he did. To be fair, you think he scored in the first game, which is fair play to him. But last season he was god awful. Couldn't convert anything.
Yeah, I just don't. I think it's time for Brighton just to take the L and get relegated for a change. Because I honestly I don't understand how they still stay in the Premier League.
To be fair, they did start this season quite well. I think obviously they were a bit not as well now. They've lost 2-0 to Everton, but at the same time, the first two games before that, they did show some sort of promise. They weren't as awful as I thought they were. When we were doing the predictions episode, I'm pretty sure I said that they were going to be relegated. I think they were going to be bottom three, but we seem to have put them a little bit higher than that.
I think we always say though that they're not a bad. They're a bad team, but there are just sometimes there always seems to be enough worse teams that I think they're okay.
Exactly. Definitely.
I think that's just going to be the case.
Yeah, exactly. But hopefully, Brighton will probably want to push on and get some more points in the next game. Everton are doing worryingly quite well at the moment.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I think we gave them a lot of shit as well at the beginning of the season.
Because
before the season
they seemed
started.
that they're breaking down as a team.
Yeah, hadn't really bought anyone in.
No.
Well, they spent 1.5 mil and they bought 3 players in. All that 1.5 was for Gray, I think. They bought.
He did all right. He's doing all right, to be fair.
Yeah, it's not doing too bad, but they seem to be not too worried at the moment. I think Rafa's doing a pretty decent job with them. Yeah,
can't lie. Get them organised, get them playing.
Yeah. Right, on to the next game. West Ham versus Palace. Alf said something about Conor Gallagher being awful and any midfielder in the league is better, and he doesn't compare, so fair enough. But yeah, he did score, so I think Alf, you got to give him that, mate. Stop.
Their first goal of their season, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. They scored the first 2 goals of their season.
Oh yeah, two.
But yeah, Palace came back twice in this game to secure an impressive draw. This is Alf that's written this, by the way, so there might be a little bit of Palace bias in here. Impressive draw against a very good West Ham team. Conor Gallagher scored 2 goals. The latter was extremely tasty. Antonio is proper legit. The dude's going to play himself into the England squad if this continues. Before I move on to his next comment, what do you think about Antonio at the moment? How do you think he's getting on at West Ham?
I think he's thriving, to be completely honest. Just like just like Jesse Lingard's thriving. I think he's just reached peak now, and he's just banging them in. Honestly, just banging them in.
I think since he hit that milestone of being the top goal scorer ever, he's now just on a high.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Confidence is key in football, and I think he's just in a good place at the moment. I think he's not too worried about West Ham in terms of the team. Are they going to be fighting relegation, or are they going to be really low down or anything like that? I think the team and him are in a really good place.
Yeah, because they got Europe football, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's going to
Europa League, I think.
They're going, all right, if we smash the beginning of the season, we can have a good season and have a good time in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. And like I've said, in terms of the type of games that England have got, the World Cup qualifiers coming up in the next 2 weeks. Obviously, it's not been taken for that, but there are going to be more qualifiers. There are going to be more international games, and 100% he could be looked at.
Yeah, no, I agree. If he's because some of the shots he's making as well, he's clinical, absolutely clinical, a really good finisher as well. So if he carries that into the England squad, great. Fair play.
Definitely.
Do it for England, mate. You'd be balling.
Yeah. How old is he nowadays? He's what?
I
late
have
20s
no
or something?
idea. He must be in his like
Find out.
prime, like 27 maybe.
Michael Antonio. He is 31. Bloody hell.
31.
I thought he was a bit younger than that. I thought he was late 20s,
Wow.
but fair enough. To still be doing that at 31, fair play to him. But yeah, if he could just be one of those guys that gets a shout in the England team because it's the back end of his career, seems to be coming into some sort of form there. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if not with his qualifiers, but maybe the next ones that he gets maybe a bit of game time under his belt.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see him. To be honest.
Exactly. But Palace showed more heart and desire in the game than we did in a lot of games we played under Roy. Well, they played under Roy, not we. But they never looked that they would come back twice with Roy as a manager. Vieira had a great talk at half-time, which got the boys inspired. Yeah, I think that Vieira is actually doing a solid job at the moment for Palace. They're obviously not had a bad start to the season at all. 2 draws, 1 loss. So 2 points out of a possible 9, but at the same time that maybe on face value doesn't look so good, but at the same time, like I've alluded to here, they're playing a different type of football under Vieira. They have to get used to that. It's a more inspiring sort of level of football as well. I think with Roy it was always that slow, boring defensive football, play on the counter. I think he's just trying to mix things up. It's going to take a little bit of time for the players to adjust to his playing style. 100%.
It could take the entire season. It generally could. I hope it doesn't. You'd hope it only takes them till a handful of months to figure out how to play in this, because they've effectively built a new squad. Like the amount of signings they've made, they've built up a new squad. So they're gonna, and then Vieira's probably going to try and play a completely different way and completely rejuvenate this entire team with the amount of youngsters that are coming in as well. Because it was an old team, it was getting on. But
it was.
I think
obviously they've let a couple of those old guys go now.
Yeah.
Obviously there's some of the old boys that have been there for a little while, but they still do have the main structure of the team, the main spine of the team.
Yeah, you've got to keep the experience.
Sort of the fundamental, exactly. Yeah. Obviously with Gaita in goal, they've gone for 2 new centre backs this year, but they've still got players like Milivojevic, Benteke, James MacArthur. There's a whole load of them still in there. I thought you said, "Are you still there?" As in, am I still here? I'm still here, Mark. Yeah. No, are you? I believe he's still there.
He's
not
all
been
right.
told any different. But yeah, he's a bit of a. Like last year we did quite well. This year, not so much. Or was it the year before he did quite well? I can't remember. But he's not really looking as impressive anymore. And I think now, obviously, Palace are looking to bring in that Odsonne Edouard, another striker. They've already got Mateta and Benteke as well. I can't really see IU sticking around for too much longer anyway.
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, these players should move on, to be honest. But it is well, Palace are looking like more like a team with promise, and I think a lot of people are just kind of going, "Oh, I wonder how Palace is doing," because like the amount of change this club has gone through in just the last 6 months, I think.
Yeah,
the amount of change has gone through.
Probably less.
Yeah, probably less. Yeah, basically just Roy leaving, really, and I think everyone's just sort of gone, "Oh, be interesting to keep an eye on that squad, see how they go on."
Well, they've had some more investment come in. They obviously had that guy that invested 90 mil or something into the team.
Nice.
Apparently he's a good guy, like inside and outside of football. So fair play to him. But yeah, I think in all honesty, with that West Ham Palace game, I think Palace did do a good job there. West Ham off the back of that 4-1 win against Leicester looked very strong. The game that they just seemed to be linking up really well. So I think Palace did a job there in terms of not managing to lose sort of too many points there. Still managed to get a draw out of it. So fair play to Palace at the end of the day.
Decent game.
Exactly, definitely. Right, so on to the next one. Norwich 1, Leicester 2. Why are Leicester so bad this season? They had less shots than Norwich. They had a scrappy win against Wolves, which they could have easily lost. They got destroyed by West Ham. You couldn't get a job done against Palace. It's so obvious that Alf's written this. Couldn't get a job done against Palace. Now they've only just beat Norwich. Is this the end of Leicester knocking on the top 4? Could Brendan Rodgers potentially be in the managerial hot seat this season? A couple of different questions there. First of all, why are Leicester so bad this season?
I don't know. They haven't really done much, have they, in terms of transfers?
Yeah, obviously they've got a couple of players injured at the moment. Is it Fofana that's injured?
Oh yeah, Fofana's.
Yeah,
fucked,
is James Justin back now? I can't remember. He was doing really well for them last year before he got an injury. I think, like we've alluded to before, I think Vardy might be getting on a bit now. I think they probably are just trying to get what they can out of Vardy until it gets to the point of no return really, and they need to look to bring in someone else. But they don't seem to be doing much this season. I don't know what it is. No, definitely. In the last couple of seasons, they've been doing really well. They've always looked fairly strong. They've always had quite a decent start to the season, but they just don't look like that same Leicester team anymore.
James Maddison has done nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And I mean, he's just been there. He's just been playing football. I think he's played every game as well, full 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Or maybe played like most of the well, they've only played 3 games. 3 games.
3 games. Yeah.
So, but to play 3 games and like, yeah, considering last year where he was like a goal scoring mid, or he was assisting and he was making like a massive contribution. Just to see, I mean, I've got him in my team, so I kind of want to be a bit on his side here, but he's just not doing anything, and I might have to transfer him out because he's just doing nothing for me. I thought he was going to be the one linking up with Vardy, maybe getting assists, or maybe even just getting goals at least. But I don't know. I think they've lost. I think a lot of players have lost like their potency. I'm not too sure why, but they just don't really seem up for it. Like scoring goals.
100%. Yeah, they're just not. They just don't have what they had last year. That team chemistry there, it really seems to be missing a bit. And I think Al's made a good point there. He said, could Brendan Rodgers potentially be in a managerial hot seat this season? I think it is maybe a bit of a dark horse to be looked at in that sort of way.
Yeah.
For them to really be asking questions, considering what he's done since he's been there. He's been fantastic.
Well, he's won silverware for them.
Yeah, he's won silverware, got the FA Cup, won the Community Shield as well, didn't they? Or was it Community Shield? Yeah, it was Community Shield, yeah. At the beginning of this season. So, yeah, he's not a bad manager by any means, but look what happened. Arsenal won the Community Shield last season. And,
look what they are.
Yeah.
Maybe. So, I mean, I don't think, even if Leicester have a bad season and finish 8th, I still don't think Brendan Rodgers. I think if you have a couple of seasons,
he's going to survive the season. 100% he'll survive the season unless they drop to like relegation.
If they're in a relegation battle, I would address it there.
But it's not going to get to that point, I don't think. And he's done enough to warrant a little bit of time there to buy himself a bit more time, get things more under control, and he's not an inexperienced manager at all. He's done a lot in the Premier League. Obviously, he did really well in Scotland as well. So, yeah, I think it's just a matter of them sort of getting that whole team cohesion back together and being just a bit more, having a better chemistry within the team.
Yeah, agree.
But yeah, they did have less shots than Norwich, so that is saying something. The fact that Norwich have actually scored before Arsenal kind of worries me for our next game, but you never know.
You never know.
Norwich are still Norwich at the end of the day. They have been abysmal. Leicester obviously haven't been amazing start to the season, so I think it's just a bit 6 of one, half a dozen of the other really with this game. So
Norwich are a bit of a weird team though. They're not good. They're good. They're too good for the Championship, but they're not good enough for the Prem.
Oh, 100%. They're a yo-yo club. That's why we see them go up and down all the time. And similar, we've had with Bournemouth a couple of times recently. They're a bit of a yo-yo club, to be honest. So Watford as well, another club like
Watford are up and down.
Yeah, but any more to add on the Norwich-Leicester game?
Well, Pookie scored as soon as I transferred him out, but
Who
typical.
did you transfer him in for?
Jimenez.
Jimenez, nice. Yeah, I got rid of him.
Yeah.
To bring in Lukaku.
Well, we had some good. Yeah, well, I saw that Jimenez had some good fixtures coming up, and I thought, you know what, like better than Pookie. So then he scores,
True.
and I was like, oh, brilliant.
Exactly. Cool. Right. So Villa versus Brentford. Dean Smith was lying when he said his team is better without Jack Grealish. Ivan Toney got his first goal in the game. Exactly what your boy said would happen. I believe that's Alf referring to himself as your
Yep.
boy.
Yeah, boy.
Great goal. Well worked team move. Finished off with a lovely strike. Buendia got his first goal as well, which is an absolute peach of a goal. Turns it on the edge of the box and hits Screamer into the back of the net. Are Brentford good, or have Villa been disappointing so far?
Former. Brentford
Yeah.
are good. They have conceded 1 goal in 3 games.
Yep.
2 clean sheets, and that's obviously the 1 goal from Villa.
Yeah.
They're good.
They're yet to lose
so far.
Yeah, they're yet to lose.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Apart from the current top 6 or something, they're the only team below that to. I think they're like in 9th or wherever they are now, but yeah, they're the only team to still not lose.
Yeah.
So fair play to them, doing well. I think we mentioned another podcast, maybe last week, that Brentford were pulling the wool over our eyes a little bit, and they're not as good as we initially first thought.
Well, they're not been in the Premier League for a while, have they?
No, but what I think it more is the fact that I think Brentford are more maybe a bit like a Leeds. In the sense that last season, Leeds, one week they'd look great, they'd have a really good game, they'd be full of confidence, and they'd just be class above. But the next game, they'd look like they're about to get relegated. So I think they're a bit of a 50-50 club, really. There's no.
But there's still plenty of
haggling
games.
between there. No, of course, yeah. It's so early on that anything could still happen. But I think Brentford are maybe just struggling slightly to get used to the whole Premier League scenario. Obviously, first time they've been in the first division since 70-something years ago or something. So it's been quite a while now. I think they might just be slowly but surely getting there with the
I don't want to do
Premier League style of play.
I don't want them to do a Sheffield United though. Have a really great season and then bomb.
Yeah.
Which will probably
Second season syndrome.
Yeah.
Happens to some of the good clubs, some of the best clubs.
Are you in your second season? Second season, yeah. Awesome.
But I think Dean Smith was definitely lying when he said his team was better without Jack Grealish. You can't lose a £100 million player and say our team's better.
Yeah.
It's a bit stupid, really. It might be better in the long run being able to reinvest that 100 million into more, but into younger players, or bring some more players in that overall improve the game or the team. But at the same time, they're never going to be as good as they were without Jack Grealish. Oh, sorry, with Jack Grealish.
But Jack Grealish obviously just was brought in got the fouls. Drawing so many fouls, letting the team get forward, reset, and find shape, and obviously his creative passing ability. Who was he playing? Was it City maybe, or it might have been Liverpool, where one pass just cut 4 players in half. I can't remember who you were playing, but I was just watching that pass like, how are you gonna defend against that? And obviously then Ollie Watkins just ran onto it like a young little skipper he is. But yeah, what a player.
Jack Grealish kind of reminds me of Wilf Zaha in a way, in terms of the sort of role that he played at Villa compared to sort of the role that Zaha plays for Palace. And in the sense that if Palace were to get rid of Zaha, they might be, they're probably not going to be as good. But at the same time, he is that player that they rely on quite heavily.
He's like the glue.
Yeah, he's the glue that holds it all together.
The glue.
Yeah,
the glue.
A little bit sus there. Yeah, he is the glue for them. I think that Palace do need to keep hold of Zaha as much as a lot of them maybe don't at the moment because of his sort of recent attitude issues that he's had.
Yeah.
Throwing a bit of a wobbly, and you can't really do that when you're not really performing up to scratch, to be honest. So I think if Zaha does end up leaving Palace at some point, it might be a similar situation to Villa. They might think they might be better off, but at the same time, might be the downfall of Villa and potentially the downfall of Palace at some point.
Yeah, potentially.
So, but yeah, Ivan Toney, I did predict that last week, about him getting his first goal. So fair play to you, Alf, for getting that one right. We
only spit facts.
Exactly. Bit biased, but we do spit facts.
Yeah, true.
Premier League, hit us up for all of our knowledge. But yeah, no, he finally got his first goal. I think obviously he's probably been looking to might have been playing on his mind a little bit, the fact that he did so well in the Championship last year. He broke the Championship record for goals scored,
Jesus.
everything like that. So not a bad player by any means, but the Premier League's different gravy. You can't expect to go into the Premier League.
Now you're walking into world-class material, the best of the best of the best.
Best league in the world. This is a reason why it's called the Premier League, because we've got the best league name out of all the top leagues across Europe. It's La Liga, which is the league.
The league.
Serie A, which is the A series, like Series A.
Or Bundesliga.
Bundesliga.
With that fat Bunda.
The Bunda.
The Bundesliga.
Yeah, exactly. And there's League 1, which is League 1.
League
League 1. But yeah, this is why we're the Premier League. This is why we are a class above the rest.
Premier League.
I like that one.
Okay.
Yeah, on to the... Oh my god, we've still got so many games to go through, Mark.
Yeah, I know, right?
We've really taken up... We need to speed through some of these last ones.
Right.
Liverpool, Chelsea. Best game of the season so far. Chelsea showed a masterclass in defending to secure a draw after the controversial sending off of Reece James. If it didn't happen, Chelsea would have won. Kai Havertz scored a great header from a James corner, and then Mo Salah equalised for a penalty as a result of James's red card. Van Dijk did a good job on Lukaku throughout the game, but they did have an extra man for most of the game as well. Matip, on the other hand, looked way out of his depth, got turned by Lukaku, which nearly led to the Mason Mount goal. I'd feel good for our predictions for Chelsea winning the league and Liverpool finishing fourth. I'm just going to throw it straight over to you, Mark, because obviously being a Liverpool fan, how did you think the game went?
It was disappointing. I mean, hats off to Chelsea for, well, more of a Tuchel 100 IQ, basically switching things about and just going, look, this is what we're going to be doing now. Park the bus. This is how we're going to defend. And because you saw even like Jorginho was just tracking the ball, getting in front. Was it Zuma was one of the centre backs? He was just tracking every single run that Salah did and was on fire. And when he was doing that, everyone else did their responsibilities to a T. So fair play, Chelsea. Like, to hold off from a relentless Liverpool attack. I think we did lack a little bit of clinical finishing. That game could have ended about 3 or 4-1 if Henderson missed basically a sitter.
Oh my God,
lovely ball from Trent. I was just watching Trent play every single week. I'm seeing these balls come through, but then I'm seeing the finishing is for somehow I don't know. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but somehow the finishing still isn't there for me. Like the quality of the pass that's coming forward. I mean, you do have it sometimes where I think we saw it in the game previously where it got past Harvey Elliott, passed it into Trent, and Trent first time just dinked it over the defenders into Mane's path, and he just a nice sweet scissor kick just banged it in. I was like, beautiful goal, banging. But then on the flip side, you got Trent bangs a lovely perfect ball in, and Henderson just fluffed it. It just absolutely fluffed it.
I think if it was most of your other players apart from Henderson, he probably would have scored.
Henderson's
he's not a prolific goal scorer at the end of the day. That's not what his job is. No. Is there to do.
He shouldn't really be that far up, but it landed on him, and as much as I want him to finish it, he ain't that guy. He's not that guy, pal.
He's not that guy,
pal. No, he's not that man. But fair play to Chelsea. They held us off. I mean, Robertson did an amazing volley Fabinho had a great shot on goal. I think even Thiago had a decent shot on goal. Mendy was making saves left, right, and centre.
Mendy was very impressive.
I mean, fair play to Chelsea. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I think with the red card, I think I can see both sides of it. In all honesty,
Yeah.
I think half of me is saying it is quite harsh for a red card, but the other half of me is saying, well, he did kind of rotate his arm to kind of knock the ball like off the line or whatever. So
Yeah.
denying
If his
a
arm
goal
was
or
flat
opportunity-
and stuck to his body, I don't think that would have been a red card or a penalty.
It was the fact that he kind of half rotated like that and knocked the ball sort of back off the line or whatever. So yeah,
brought it up with his knee to get an extra. Yeah. If it was just his knee, that would have just gone in. Like, it would have just gone straight through. If he's had his arm behind his back, like he should have done when defending, like that close, like in that position, again, it would have gone in. But at the same time, he wouldn't have been sent off, and maybe I still think Chelsea would have been able to win that game. To be completely honest, if he didn't do that, Chelsea would have probably won the game.
Even if he had have done that and got a yellow and carried on playing, I think they still probably would have won the game.
Yeah,
I think this is where half of me sort of is quite torn, because they were better. They were better than Liverpool.
I mean, look at the squad, man. Like, Jesus Christ.
You're not 100% surprised by this, but at the same time, obviously, with the fact that they were a man down, they did incredibly well for the majority of the second half, where you guys were just constant attack.
I think we had something like 70% possession and 14 shots in just the second half, at like the first 20 minutes of the second half or something.
And what I will say though is Christensen had a really good game for Chelsea.
He ended
up getting man of the match. So he had a phenomenal game. I think he's probably going to be looking to start a lot of this season. I think with the way he's performing at the moment.
Yeah, if he keeps up.
Definitely. And until that situation happened with Reece James, I think he's also looking incredibly good this season. He's already scored. He's got assists under his belt. He's looking really impressive. It's just obviously that whole situation was a bit unfortunate. Yeah. Havertz's goal was also a great little dink.
I don't think
it's hard to do that sort of thing. It's very hard to do that.
That's why I don't think he meant it. I think he was just trying to knock it on because it would just happen to fall to him. So he was like, "Fuck, let me just try and knock it in the right direction," and it was just perfect.
I think I slightly disagree in the sense that he tried something very similar in the game before against Arsenal, and he didn't quite be able to pull it off. I think it might be something he's been working on the training ground. But
it happens.
It happens.
Either way, you're knocking it in a very dangerous area, and someone else could get a leg to it or another head to it, and it's in. But it's all about
he had to sort of jump forward, but also hit the ball back, but not get too much on it that it's just going to go over.
It literally just dipped, and it was at that angle where, although Alisson saw it coming, he just couldn't. You can't stretch for something like that. You can't get up quick enough for something like that.
100%.
And you have to watch it go in because it just goes over you and it falls behind you, and it's just constantly like that far away from your glove, no matter what you do, which is a brilliant header. Can't fault it.
One thing I will say though, just before we move on, because I'm just cautious about time, was how long are we going for? Nearly an hour and a half already.
Yeah, geez, we're getting into it, aren't we?
Yeah. I think we'll probably have to do some of the team ratings in the podcast on Thursday, because I don't think we'll have time for today. But yes, one more thing I did want to say. What was that now before I forget?
It's about Liverpool, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fabinho. Well, Fabinho, whatever his bloody name, Fabinho.
Oh my God,
Fabinho.
He was lucky not to get a bloody red.
He was.
Jesus
very
Christ.
lucky. Did he even get a yellow in the end?
No, he didn't. No.
That was surprised me because he was making proper rash challenges.
Crunching boys. When they didn't even have the ball, like the pass would have gone, and he would have just gone, crash. Like he would run into people and be like, get back up. Like, what did I do? I'm surprised he didn't get a yellow. I'm surprised he didn't get 2 yellows and get a red and get sent off.
Exactly, yeah. That's one thing I was going to mention, the fact that he was just a bit on a mad one, really. But fair play to him. He didn't get a card at all in the end.
Fair play.
The ref thought
I think he did. I think he did an all right game.
A
little bit too rowdy, but it dealt with a lot of plays, I think.
Exactly. Right, last 3 games we have Burnley versus Leeds. Leeds get a late equaliser from Bamford to secure a draw. Leeds have been hugely underwhelming so far. Bamford is getting better and better. His passing and IQ is unreal. All in all, it's a scrappy game, which could have gone either way. Leeds couldn't finish their chances. Chris Wood opened the scoring with a bad goal. That doesn't even matter. Chris Wood opened the scoring with a bad goal from Chris Wood. I think he probably meant
Chris Wood
Burnley
opened
the scoring with a bad goal from Chris Wood. He flicked it on from a shot that put past Meslier. Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch this game. I haven't seen any of the highlights. Have you seen much about it?
A couple of the highlights. I think Alvey really hit it nail on the head there. They've been a little bit underwhelming, Leeds, this season
Definitely.
so far. But
It's
I think
half mentioned earlier about them one game last year being really good, the next game being terrible. It might be a continuation of this season as well.
I think they just need to get in gear a little bit. I think they'll be alright after international break. Of course, they'll have some time to just really get the fitness up and get ready for an upcoming fixture. But yeah, underwhelming. I think Rafinha has probably been the best man there. Looks like he's creating all the chances.
Him or Bamford, I think.
Yeah. Well, I've got both of them on my team and Stuart Dallas. So I was hoping them, because them three basically run the fucking team apparently. But yeah, them three haven't really been as clinical as they were last season. But I think they just need to get back into it, get into the swing of playing every single week, and I think they'll have that international break will give them some time to get their shit in order, basically.
Yeah, I think it's a fairly decent result for Burnley. I don't think Burnley were expecting to come away with a point from that game.
What Burnley do, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. They're a very defensive side under Sean Dyche. They always have been. I think they are coming probably to an end of their time in the Premier League.
Yep.
It's not this season. It's got to be next season unless some serious changes happen. They've just been hanging on for a long while now, so it wouldn't surprise me if they were to sort of be relegated this season or next season. Yeah. So I don't think they're going to be too unhappy with that, Burnley, to be fair. I think Leeds probably more so, but at the end of the day, they're
Mickey
both
B.
with 1 point. Mickey B, yeah.
Come on.
Did you hear about Alf's muck up with the name the other day? Tommy Party. Instead of Thomas Party. Tommy Party. Tommy Party and Mickey B.
Got you now, mate.
Yeah.
Tommy Party.
But yeah, not really too much more to add for that game, to be honest. So Spurs 1, Watford 0.
Spurs
continues to give.
Go on, sorry.
Spurs 1, yeah, and Tottenham 0. No, Watford 0. Son continues his good start with a lucky goal from a free kick that should have been saved. Spurs have had a great start with for the season with 3 wins from 3. But none of them have been convincing. They luckily beat City, they luckily beat Wolves, and now they've scraped a win against Watford from a lucky goal. Spurs made a couple of new signings, and Harry Kane needs to get back to full form. But I think these wins aren't as clean and as clear as they seem. I would agree with that, to be honest. I think that they have been quite lucky. I think 3 1-0 wins I think they've had now. So it's just they're getting that one goal and then they're kind of just sitting back and making sure that they just see it out, really. I think
a bit
Watford,
dangerous.
Yeah, they are. They can be quite dangerous. I think, like I've said, with that they've got more to come. With obviously the signings that they're bringing in. Obviously they've just announced Everton Royale as well, so hopefully he can add to what they've been doing. Christian Romero looked all right, but yeah, I think with Harry Kane, I think he seems to still be a bit in his own head about what's going on. I think it might take him a couple more games and a little while to sort of come around to that. But yeah, I still think that, as much as it pains me to say, that Tottenham will become a bit more convincing. Obviously they might not. They're doing the job at the end of the day. They're getting the wins. They're getting the 3 points, which is what they aim for. If you do that by scoring 5, or if you do that by scoring 1, the result's the same at the end of the day. Yeah. Exactly. You still get the 3 points. So, I just think that Watford aren't terribly impressive. They won't be now, even more so now they've lost Deeney, their talisman for I don't know how long, 12 years I think. So he's been one of their main focal points of that team for a long time, and I think now losing that is going to have a sort of a mental effect on them. But Yeah, would you have to add to Tottenham and Watford?
I mean, they're really like. It's more to talk about Spurs than it is Watford. Watford are really the underdogs, so losing 1-0. I mean, it's not terrible. They could have lost.
Yeah, they won't be too unhappy, I don't think. But...
Yeah, losing 1-0 to Spurs is a bit like, okay, well, that could have gone a lot worse at Spurs. Like, they're not a massively pushover team. But, I mean, and then Spurs winning 1-0, you're probably a bit like, how was Watford? You should be at least 2 to 3-0 maybe. So, yeah, it's a little bit worrying because they can't keep scoring 1 goal and then taking off that pressure. Maybe if you score 2 goals, you can then take off that pressure and reserve your energy and maybe look for a third. But yeah, to score 1 goal and then to sit back like they have been, it's playing with fire. You can't do that against. I mean, they think they did it against City, which is hard to think about. But if you were to do that against Chelsea, Liverpool, maybe West Ham now, or maybe Leicester, you could see that you could lose 2-1 there, and 100%. You could lose the win. So it'd be interesting to see how it goes, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens when Tottenham do play someone like a Liverpool or a Chelsea or something, because I think City were taken by surprise at the beginning. I think Pep fielded a squad that probably wasn't their full squad,
he got
their full strength squad. He very much got humbled there. And obviously they also did it without Harry Kane to Tottenham, so fair play for that. But I think other teams probably aren't gonna do what Pep did in that sense and put out sort of some of the younger guys. They will put their sort of full strength squad out, whatever that may be at the time. But I'll be interested to see what happens. I think someone like Chelsea could absolutely batter Tottenham and just make them realise that no, you're no good than you were last season. You just got lucky against City, really, and you've been scraping wins since then. Yeah. So, yeah,
we've had.
I think it'll be interesting to see.
Shed Gaming commented, "How long are you guys streaming today?" Not massively long. I think we've massively overdone it, to be honest.
We have, yeah. We should have. We've already been going for nearly 2 hours now. So we've
got one more game.
Did we start? Oh, no,
we've been on for an hour and a half. Yeah, so we're probably going to be on for another 10, 15 minutes, if that.
Yeah, well, we've got one more game to go through, so we'll probably go through that and then call it a day, and we'll do some of the ratings for the teams in Thursday's podcast.
I think that's kind of a nice way to do it, because then we got the ratings, and then all the games happen.
Well, we don't actually have a preview for next week either, because we can preview, but we'll be previewing the international games and not Premier League. So
we could look at the international stuff, to be completely honest.
Exactly. But yeah, last game, Wolves 0, Manchester United 1. Mason Greenwood is now 3 for 3 this season, three great goals, and now they've added Ronaldo. He's going to become one of the best in the world. That's a little prediction from Alfie.
I mean, Ronaldo's probably already won.
No, I think he meant
Mason Greenwood. Yeah. I've had Simon said I've had a very productive 10 minutes. Got new car insurance and made new stream schedule. Wow. Nice. Hope you got a good deal on your car insurance, mate.
Yeah, should come to me. Should talk to people who know these sort of things, But De Gea looked like prime De Gea from a few years ago. Do you think he will revive his form this season?
Maybe. I think there's going to be a good resurgence in the team. I think everyone's going to be a little bit hyped, so that could fall back to De Gea, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. He made a very impressive double save.
Nice.
That looked like it was definitely going to go in, but he still managed to make that double save. So fair play to him for that. I think he's seen. I think that the Euros has potentially done something for him, because he didn't play in that Spain team, or played much, if at all. It was that Unai Simon or whatever that was playing for them. I think he's probably realised that if he's not looking at first team kind of football at Spain, I think he might be thinking, think about this at Spain, what about Dean Henderson at United? Obviously played a little bit towards the end of last season and did well.
Right. Yeah, not bad.
Doesn't seem to be favoured too much at the moment, but I think he's just that little bit of competition is probably spurred him on a bit. And I think, like you say, with Ronaldo coming back in, that's going to be really good for team morale. Just get everyone in such a good headspace, make sure everyone's like proper raring to go. So I think it could be the resurgence of De Gea. I have De Gea and Edison in my fantasy team. I currently have only actually played it with Edison. I haven't started De Gea yet, but I'm not going to complain. They're both incredibly good goalkeepers.
Yeah.
And if one's going to be having a tough game, the other one might not. And like I say, I'll take De Gea doing well so far this season. Wolves look good going forward in every game so far, but haven't been able to score yet. Aaron Wan-Bissaka had a goal line clearance after Fred nearly gave Wolves a goal. United's defence looks shaky. Once Varane settles in, it will get better. Sancho had a questionable game, but it was his first start, so no one should be worried. How did you think that Sancho got on in his first game? Because
I think he's getting a bit hyped up. I think, he obviously is a very talented, very creative, very attacking player. But yeah, give him a chance. I think everyone expects him to go into this team, no problems, and just absolutely ball out. And I think people need to remember that it is a new team, it's a new system. He's got new roles that suit some of his traits. Maybe he's doing the same as what he did do previously, but
yeah,
I think you've got to give. Even Ronaldo, he'll be coming into a completely different team. Although he's got the experience to back it up, I don't think Sancho has that experience to back it up. Changing.
No, of course, but learning from someone like Ronaldo.
Oh God, yeah,
going to be instrumental going forward. In his
100%.
career.
I mean, but that's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen within the next few games. I think it's going to be a very slow build up. I think by Christmas you'll be seeing Sancho just ball out every single game. He'll be starting. Definitely. And he'll be a massive threat, and he'll be such a big problem. Because you can't, his talent, it will just not let him not be a problem. You know what I mean?
I think some of the criticism that Sancho is getting from over sort of social media. Obviously, I know social media is just a lot of crap sometimes, and people are just they like to argue for the sake of arguing. But I think he was getting a lot of criticism, which I think was fair in some senses, because a lot of people were saying obviously he hasn't had a great game, which was honest. He didn't have a great game, but at the same time there was also a lot of people that were proper shitting on him, properly saying like, oh, this is gives me a massive like waste of money, waste of time, would rather have spent the money on someone else, which I think is
ludicrous,
baffling. It's ludicrous. Mate. It's ridiculous. Like, you've played one game, started one game, and you can't just shoot him down like that. That's no good for his confidence.
United fans, though, man, they're fickle.
Exactly, they are. Well, I think everyone has a set of fickle fans somewhere. So, but yeah, I think a lot of it was unjust. I don't think he deserved a lot of the criticism, like you've obviously gone on to say. I think he will, with more time, just get more relaxed into the team. I think there was a lot of talk around him. He was one of the main moves of the summer, and it had been a long time coming. So I think with him playing in this team, it will just take maybe a couple more games for him to settle in, a couple more starts under his belt, maybe playing some easy teams, just to sort of some confidence boosters basically, and then like you say, by Christmas he might just be dominating, doing bits.
100%.
So Alf's got a couple of questions here at the end. Will United's shaky defence affect their top four aspirations?
I think it's too early to really say.
Again, like with Varane as well, he is first game starting. It's going to take him time to get used to it all. Obviously, Harry Maguire, brilliant in the back there with Varane. Varane brings a lot of experience, brings a lot of knowledge with him. Luke Shaw, Roberto Carlos, obviously great player. He's a natural, and Wan-Bissaka, like Alf's mentioned here in the breakdown here, he's put about clearing that goal line clearance from that mistake that Fred made. I think he is. They're all very good on paper and off paper. I think they're very good players, and I think it is just a case of over time they'll gel a bit more, and they'll just become an extremely solid starting 11. That team, I think. Yeah, I think they could be maybe fighting. Well, they could. I think it's so hard to tell at the moment with the top.
Oh, massively. Yeah.
Chelsea have had a really good start. Liverpool have had a good start. City have had a pretty good, decent start. And United slightly more shaky in terms of obviously only
Brentford's
getting
had a
this
good
one
start.
more. Yeah, they have. But yeah, they've obviously slightly more shaky with the draw against Southampton, and then they've only just scraped this win against Wolves. But I think with the addition of Ronaldo as well, and when the other players sort of really start to gel, they will just become a different animal. I think.
Yeah.
I think they'll iron out all those creases and become a great team again.
I think Ronaldo will whip them into shape. He's not.
100%.
He is
His
not a
mentality-
man for.
His mentality is on a different level. He'll be like, if he's not happy with someone, he'll be like, that ain't happening.
Nah, this is what you
come
need
on,
to do, and you need to do it now.
pull your
and
socks up,
perfectly.
get your shit together. Let's fucking do it. Let's go out there. Every game's a Champions League final to him. He wants to go out and win. Doesn't matter if it's against Watford or if it's against Real Madrid. He wants to win at the end of the day. He's an athlete. He's a professional. That's what he's there for. That's why he's so bloody good and successful at the end of the day. Will Wolves' goal drought continue? Could relegation be on the cards? I think they are really missing that goal scoring factor. Obviously, Jimenez, he's coming back. He's come back from that awful head injury he had. Adama Traore's had ample opportunities to score now and get on that and score a couple of times a game, and it's really not sort of doing anything at the moment. I think a lot of this talk about him going to City might actually be like affecting him in some sort of way in terms of his mentality. I think maybe after today that might go away until January if he's not going to go, or if he is going to go, whatever it may be. But I think it's really starting to play on his mind a bit, because he's not been able to convert these chances that Wolves would have easily done last season. But yeah, I'm just not 200% sure on.
Again, like these
I
are
don't
good
think
questions, but I think it is just so hard to really see.
Yeah.
Like they've got, like we were saying earlier, I brought in Jimenez. You took out Jimenez from your team, and I was like, I'll bring him in because the fixtures they've got coming up, very winnable fixtures. So they could see themselves have gone on a little bit of a win streak very easily and find some form.
Definitely.
But
Yeah,
we'll
I don't
see.
think they're going to be fighting relegation, to be honest. I think they will be
Worst
like
teams.
Arsenal. Yeah, or like I think Wolves will be in a similar sort of situation to Arsenal. They might have a terrible start with the first couple of games, but as soon as they start to settle in properly, get a couple of wins under their belt, some draws, whatever it may be, the league starts to finally sort of settle in a bit. I think that's when we'll see them obviously make their moves and get the results that they're looking for at the end of the day. But one person I did want to bring up quickly before we wrap this up is Fred from United. Because one moment he seems to be doing really well, and the next moment he just seems bloody god awful.
Yeah, I can't put a finger on him. Is he an amazing player, or is he just lucky?
I don't think he's amazing, to be honest. I haven't rated him. I've seen more from him at the beginning of this season than I've seen from Fred the entire time he's been at United, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%.
I've never rated him. He started off, I think, was he scoring the first game?
Yeah, he scored.
Against Leeds.
I think he got an assist as well, didn't he? Or no, that's
I think so.
Pogba.
Oh no, yeah, Pogba got 4 out of the 5 assists that game. But yeah, then obviously he had that issue with the against Leeds. Was it Leeds? No, the own goal that happened. Who is it? Che Adams. Obviously shot and it obviously deflected, came off Fred and went in for an own goal, whatever. And then obviously, like Alf alluded to earlier, with Fred's basically fell over and gave them a really good chance to score. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka had to come and obviously clear the ball off the line to save his arse. But I mean, it just kind of baffles me how often he starts for United. And
yeah,
I think
maybe that he's a different player in training. Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, only judging a player by watching the 90 or less minutes that they might play every other weekend or something, it's quite tough because you don't get to see all the nitty-gritty stuff that happens in training. You could be top performer in training every single training session, but at the end of the day, if he then doesn't convert that and bring that into the actual game, the thing that actually matters, where you get the points and everything, then I don't know why they would want to start him. you can be the best player in the world in training, but if you can't bring that into the actual game, then it's not going to help huge amounts.
Well, this is why I think you'll see Ronaldo have that ripple effect around him of making sure everyone's doing the right things. Like if Ronaldo is seeing someone in train doing amazing, he would expect that on the pitch, and if that doesn't happen, then you'd expect that to be addressed. I mean, it should be
100%.
really already. It should be something they're saying already, but you know,
Definitely.
how it works sometimes.
Definitely. But yeah, I think United are only going to get better.
Up and up.
Wolves will probably get better, to be honest. I don't think this is the be all and end all of Wolves, but I think with the fact that Nuno's gone as well, I think he was pretty instrumental in how they did last season, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it for today, really. Like I said, we'll go through all the team ratings in Thursday's stream, Thursday's podcast. But yeah, thank you for joining us, guys. Thank you, Mark.
No worries.
Thanks to Alf.
Alf making an appearance.
Yeah. But yeah, we will see you guys soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, everything. If you're on social media right now, or you're just listening to it on the way to work, on the train, stop what you're doing, take a second, and just follow us or subscribe, like, do whatever. If it's a positive for us, do it. That'd be brilliant.
We've got some risky footy opinions.
Exactly. Bits of bias put in elsewhere, like Alf saying how trash Conor Gallagher is, even though he scored twice. I don't understand.
Bit of a weird comment.
I know it's a bit of a weird one from Alf, but weird guy sometimes. But yeah, thanks guys for joining us. It's been another podcast by your boys, and we will see you next time. Peace.